Me and Marley were watching and my eyes were so wide, being like, oh my gosh, this ball's going to go in. And then I said, never mind, it's not going in.
It's the only thing that can keep you awake these days.
That and this podcast. Hi, and welcome to Good Vibes FC. I'm Lynn Biondolo, aka Limpy Indolo, coming to you from rainy Seattle.
And I'm Sam Mewis, aka Sam Lewis. It's Lewis and Limpy back again. I'm coming to you from the Women's Game World headquarters in Vermont. It's also dark here, windy, cold. It's winter.
It's your perfect day.
I'm scared. Good Vibes FC is presented by our really great friends over at Olipop. I literally cannot wait to open my Olipop. I have a cream soda and it's staring at me and it's just like glistening in the light and I can't wait to crack her open. You can get your own Olipop by using code TWG20 for 20% off at jerkolipop.com. Today on the podcast, we're recapping the wild semifinal weekend, including Gotham's late game-winning goal and even later game-saving save. We're also looking ahead to the final on Saturday between Gotham and the Washington Spirit. And then we'll go over to the TWG Discord for some of your best 11s from the season. But first, Lynn,
hey,
how are you doing? Hey.
I'm good. I'm a little sleepy. I think my baby is growing, and anytime they grow, I get sleepy.
It's so funny because we were just on Mewis Squared on Friday talking to Christy about her early stages of pregnancy and how she would just fall asleep on the couch every day when she got home.
Yeah.
Because she was just growing a baby in there.
I know, it's crazy. I did just do a workout, and through the whole workout, I was like closing my eyes. I was like,
what did you do for a workout?
It's a lot of band work, but I did some RDLs, some glute stuff, some core stability, because my like back is starting to hurt now because I'm like front loaded. So my back is hurting. But other than that, not much is going on. Getting excited for the championship weekend. Lots going on there. What about you?
I know. We're going to be together.
I know.
We're going to be like this.
Yes, holding hands, walking down the street.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I did ask our friends in our newsletter for San Jose recommendations, so hopefully I have an itinerary laid out for us for all of our eats.
Oh, yes. Because my afternoons are free.
Good to know. You know what else I'm getting excited about? My sister's wedding.
Oh my gosh. Same.
All I think about is just like being in the sun and the sand and the surf.
Don't tease me with a good time right now. I'm so pale. It's been so gray here. I am.
I'm same. Like it's blotchy. I'm just blotchy. I'm just like, I don't even think a tan is going to help with this. I'm just like a blotch monster.
No, I need like some vitamin D, but I am very excited for your sister's wedding. And I am also like excited, but not excited to like look for outfits that are going to fit me.
I know. Me and Lynn were texting about this the other day. She was like, what are you wearing to your sister's wedding? And I explained. And then she was like, well, what am I supposed to wear? Because you're going to be like, what, 6 months pregnant, 5 months pregnant?
Yeah.
You're going to have a little bump.
I'm like 18 weeks now. So how many more weeks is that?
The weeks thing, like you guys keep saying weeks to me. And I'm just like, I don't know.
I know. I don't know. I feel like before
say 4.5 months
before I got pregnant,
please.
I am with you. Like I get it. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Just give me months. But then each week is like such a different development that
I know.
That's just how they count it.
So, and I like love that for you. I love that for the baby. I know. I want you to know.
Let me tell you.
But when you talk to me, it's 4.5 months. I did the math.
Are you sure?
No.
No, right now. But when I go to the wedding, what is it?
Oh, you'll be, well, I don't know. Tell me the weeks. And I'll divide it by 4.
24 weeks.
6 months. Yeah, 6 months. Were you good at times tables?
No.
Dude, can I just like brag for a second about how good I was at times tables?
No, you can't. Because I was so bad at them. Okay, go ahead. Brag.
We used to do mad minutes, which was 60 multiplication.
Yeah, so did we.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
Well, I used to like beat it all the time. Like I would get 60 and then I would have like 5 seconds to spare.
Okay. One time Marley was like testing me in math, like just in bed. And it was like shocking how bad I did. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Give me a calculator. In elementary school too, I remember my teacher had to threaten taking soccer away because she was like, you're not focusing. Like, you need to focus on math. And I just don't think I cared, but I should.
Yeah, I mean, math is
Life.
I don't care about it now, but like I would just like I have pride that I used to be really good at my times tables, and like that's just who I am as a person.
I just wanted to like chit chat with my friends and go run around. Like, I think I had a little bit of attention issues.
Huh.
Still do.
Not me. I have all sorts of other issues though. Like my eye is still twitching.
Really?
Yeah, like a lot every day.
Caffeine?
I only had like one coffee today, and then I got a decaf because I'm like kind of getting worried about it now.
Water? Have you been drinking a lot of water?
If you're listening to this on audio, I just showed Lynn my big jar of water.
Why is that straw like that?
Like what?
Like, did you chew on it, or like, why is the end so
No,
small?
it's bent like that. It's like the mouth shape of the straw. We need to move along. Stop criticizing me. I'd like to get started now, please. Let's talk about soccer, everybody. It's the NWSL playoffs. The first semifinal between the Washington Spirit and the Portland Thorns was on Saturday. The Spirit won 2-0. The Spirit definitely had the upper hand in this game, Lynn, like almost the whole time. I just feel like they seemed like they were on another level.
I agree. And I also would just say, like, it's hard to play at rowdy Audi. So I also think that had something to do with it as well.
I agree. It does seem like an awesome place to play. So like right off the jump, it was like a fast start for the Spirit. They scored and had that goal called back. They had several great chances. I remember Croy Bethune took a great shot from just outside the 18. But then in the 27th minute, Rosamund Kouassi started this counterattack like really deep in the Spirit's own half. And I felt so bad. The poor Portland player was like trying to like meet her at the ball and just like missed. And it's like one of those situations where if you miss, you're just effed. And she just missed. And then Kouassi was like off and running. She basically ran the entire length of the field with the ball. And then finally, like literally right at the last second, it was perfect timing. She just slotted it inside to Gift Monday, who had run with her the whole way. Mm-hmm. She finished it. It was like such an exciting goal because it felt like a breakaway, but for like 20 seconds. So you just kept being like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? It was really great. And the Spirit definitely deserved to go up a goal at that point. And it was just like an incredible run by both Kouassi and Gift Monday.
I would agree. I'm not condoning fouling, but in that moment,
I was going to say,
you got to foul. Like you just got to recognize.
I don't even think she could.
Good old bear hug. Just do a little bit of a bear hug. Take the foul. But also, I felt bad because the Portland defender, I think if she used her left foot, she would have cleared it away from Gift Monday. And she tried to go across, and it just like bonked into her.
I know. The timing was almost that Portland could have cleared it, but it just had, that ball was sealed with the fate of the Thorns.
Okay, I hated that. But I will say it was incredible. Like, even for Kouassi to go for that ball in the first place, I think a lot of players would say, oh, the ball's going out. And she was like, no, I'm getting on my horse and I'm going to save this and I'm going to run down the whole entire field. I'm going to put it on a platter and we're going to score.
Yeah. I know. It was really sick. I feel like Spirit's attack in general was just relentless. And it's like when you look at their roster, Croy Bethune, Sophia Cantore, Lacey Santos, Kouassi, Gift Monday, it's just like a really fun group to watch. Like everybody's dangerous. Everybody can create on their own, but they can also like combine and create things from nothing. They're good out wide. They're good centrally. They can shoot from distance. Like it's a really well-rounded attack. I did think that Croy Bethune in particular worked so hard all game creating chances, and she really deserved a goal. She had a bunch of opportunities where she could have scored. She finally scored. It was like at the very end of the game, a mistake on Portland's end. It was like this misplayed back pass that Croy just intercepted and then kind of just had like all the time in the world to walk it into the goal. I thought she was in really great spots all game and like really deserved to score. And that was her first playoffs goal, Lynn.
Well, yeah, she didn't play last year, and then
I know
now she's back.
I know.
I agree. I thought that she deserved a goal. She played really well. And if you're going to have a first playoff goal, why not make it easy?
I know. It was a good one. And then she like did kind of wind up and like booted at the end. And I was kind of like, don't do that. I'm scared.
I know. I don't miss.
Yeah.
But no, did you see her interview where she was like, I just wanted to blast it in there to show the crowd like how hype we are. And I was like, yeah, fair enough.
She does strike me as somebody who's just like so in tune with the crowd. Like she's like feeding off vibes and energy and just like giving it right back. She like celebrated with the fans after. Croy is actually our friendlies guest this week, Lynn.
Well, you get to know more about her, everyone.
I know. I'm going to ask her all about that goal. I'm really excited for everybody to hear.
I'm happy for her. I think with like everything that happened last year and for her to be able to come back and like get back into form, because when you're first immediately back, you don't necessarily feel like yourself, but she looks like she's back to her old self, has confidence, and I'm happy for her.
Yeah.
And I also think that Washington, like you said, looks exciting. Like they have waves and waves of attack, and I want to watch an exciting game, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was an exciting game to watch. I think Portland's goalkeeper, Mackenzie Arnold, did have a really good game. She made 6 saves. She made a couple saves that like they really needed. But the Spirit were just, again, like relentless. I want to channel Becky Sauerbrunn here and look at the XG, which is that expected goals statistic. The Spirit had their XG at 3.1, while Portland had 0.31. And so that as a statistic of like, I don't know the exact, metrics that go into this number, but it's like basically like quality chances created, like how many times you should have scored based on the opportunities that you created. Portland really just like didn't create that many opportunities. And so this was kind of a lopsided game. And I know I like keep saying this, but the Spirit to me just feel like a team that's building every game. They've like had this kind of more steady rise to the form that they're in right now. They even got Trinity Rodman back. She subbed in for the last few minutes and she actually nearly scored herself. So I'm just feeling like the Spirit have a lot of momentum as they like head towards the championship game.
I agree. And I also think that they've done it in a season that hasn't been like smooth sailing. They've had their, like, didn't have Trin for a while. They have a lot of people out.
Their coach changed.
A lot of people out on maternity leave. They also like have had some injuries in the last game. Their outside back went down with a calf injury.
Yeah. And so did Tara McCown. And then she was back playing this game.
Yes, you are correct.
Tough as nails.
So I think that even with that, like, it shows me that their coach has been able to adapt to like when a player goes down or something happens, adapt the game plan, but also the game plan looks like they are going to live and die by this like really attacking minded football while also making sure that they're not conceding in the back.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this weekend.
I know. I think that just focusing on the Spirit for now, we're going to get a good game out of them and they're going to make it exciting. They have so many players that are fun to watch. We do have to pour one out. Shout out to the Portland Thorns for 2025. All respect. I really think that Portland came into this season with a really big question mark next to their name. They lost so much leadership last year and nobody, I think, including Portland, knew what kind of season that the team would have. But in classic Thorn style, they did really well. They made it all the way to the semifinal. They're still a top club. And I think that we saw enormous growth from what's their new core of the team. Sam Coffey, Olivia Moultrie, even Raylan Turner stepped up big this season. Some of their rookies had big years, Pietra Tord and Jaden Perry. So I think despite Portland kind of going through this, rebirth year, they did really well. They like represented their club how we all expect the Thorns to be represented. And I think they have a bright future and they're building towards another championship someday.
I agree. I think that they have a bright future. I think that they are very young. And I think that they got a lot of experience this year, which you need, in my personal opinion, to go on and do incredible things. So I'm not worried about them.
I know. I think even like with, and we're about to get to this, but rumors of players leaving the NWSL, signing Olivia Moultrie through 2029, who is a huge up and coming talent. And I could have easily seen being interested in going overseas. I think that was huge for Portland, huge for the NWSL, and something that, they're going to continue to build their team around. We are going to get to this kind of rumor that came out around the timing of this game that Trinity Rodman could possibly be going overseas. At first, when I saw this, it was just on that like Transfer Donna page. And which is like like a rumor page. It's like it's like a leak page. Like they hear first what's happening. And then they're like, literally,
how? Literally how?
I know. And I, as like a joke, was like, oh, Portland probably just like leaked this to like seed some insecurity in like the Spirit's ranks. Unfortunately, I don't think that that's actually the case. It was reported. And look, it's not that surprising that multiple clubs would be in contact with Trinity. Her contract expires at the end of this year. Of course, she's being pursued by multiple clubs, and Trin did have to address the rumors after their semifinal game. She said simply that she's focused on winning the championship and then she'll figure out what next year looks like for her, which is totally fair enough. I think, Lynn, from a human and like a player perspective, this is a lot to be happening for Trin. She's coming back from injury. She's heading to the final. And now she like also has to deal with having these rumors swirl around right now.
Yeah, the rumors are really annoying. I get it. You have to have it. It like fuels the interest in the league and the player and all that in soccer in general. But I find that really annoying, especially at a time where there's just a lot going on for her and you want to be focused on the championship. And like you said, she is just coming back from injury. So it's not like she doesn't have stuff she's already dealing with. But at the same time, Trin's a great player. Her contract's up. Of course, there's going to be clubs that are going to reach out to her. Like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, I'm sure there's all the NWSL clubs are reaching out to her and all the WSL clubs are reaching out. I feel like that's not really news. Her contract's
I know.
up.
Actually, that's fair. And for some reason, like in my mind, I'm just like, oh my God, yeah, she could just like go to a different NWSL team. But I just like,
yeah, I don't foresee that
really
happening.
that.
I don't foresee that happening. It could, but I just think she's a great player. Of course, people want her contracts up. Like, what I do think, and I am interested to know like what Washington is offering her for her to stay.
Well, so this is like kind of what I want to talk about. I feel like with some other players who have left the NWSL, I feel generally like you, me, Becky, have been pretty much like, yeah, it's not ideal, but like, let's stay calm. Like Naomi Girma went to Chelsea. Alyssa Thompson went to Chelsea. I don't think that any one player leaving is like a signal that the NWSL is failing in some way. But I think that the more it becomes like we do keep reporting on it, and the more it happens does feel, and I think especially the fact that it's Trinity, all these players are incredible players, huge future talents, like stalwarts of whatever team they're on. Trinity just feels like the superstar of her generation. Like she is so marketable. She has really blown up off the field, amazing personality. Everybody loves her. Everybody wants her to play for their team because she's like such an icon. And so I do think in this trend of players leaving, now Trinity potentially leaving does feel like a really big deal. Where we keep coming back to is like, what does the NWSL have to do to either directly keep Trinity here or solve for this problem moving forward? And we're always coming back to the same thing we've been talking about now, you know, pretty much since Alyssa Thompson left. It's the salary cap. It's just not tenable to offer somebody like Trinity Rodman a salary that fits within the $3.3 million. That is 2026 is $3.3 million. Also keeps the rest of your team competitive and is competitive with the offers that she would be getting from a team overseas like Chelsea, Arsenal, OL, a team that doesn't have a salary cap that can offer her whatever. I think what I'm trying to sort out is like why this feels to me like it would be a cause for like a few weeks ago, I was like, don't panic. And now I'm kind of like, oh no. And so I guess I'm like, is it different that it's Trinity or is it different that it's like a pattern?
Look, I have like two feelings about this. One, I think that, and I don't want to rehash like the salary cap thing again, because
we've talked about this a lot recently.
Exactly. And we can go on for days about it. On one hand, no matter what you offer somebody, even if the salaries were equal, let's pretend like Washington offered her $1 million and then somebody in the WSL offers her $1 million. On one hand, the player's just going to maybe want a different experience, right? Maybe a WSL team, the style of play, or maybe just an experience that you want. And the NWSL, unfortunately, can't compete with that if somebody's been in the NWSL forever, has got the experience, and it's like, okay, I just want a new experience. That's unfortunate. On the other hand, I do think that Trin has, like you said, she just has this like an aura around her right now. Is it a cause for concern? Like I'm not sure. And the only reason why I say that is because she did miss half of the year, and it's not like the NWSL crumbled when she wasn't here. Now, do I think it would be a huge miss in the NWSL for her to leave? Of course. Like, she not only has a lot of like marketing and marketability, but she's an amazing player and people want to watch her every single week. Like, am I still panicking? No. But then if like multiple more people, I'm gonna be like, okay, what are we not doing? Or what experiences are we not giving people? Because I don't necessarily think it's always money.
Yeah, I think you explained that perfectly. It's like, if the offers were equal, there's an intangible about potentially playing somewhere that you've never played before. And that applies to European
coming here,
or South American or players from anywhere coming to play in the NWSL. That applies to in reverse as well. So if your offers are equal, you may want to come to America, like Jackie Ovalle just came.
Yeah.
Sophia Cantore just came. Like, I think when we're thinking about it overall, we do have to zoom away a little bit from just U.S. women's national team players and think, if we want the NWSL to be the best league in the world, are we attracting top talent from not the U.S. women's national team? I think in a lot of cases that has been true. We've signed some incredible players this year. We have Barbara Banda and Temwa Chwenga who have proven to be top.
You have Esther.
Exactly.
You have
Bia, Dabinia,
Jess Carter,
Marta,
and
Katrine Berger.
Yeah, like
exactly. We have incredible Manaka. We have incredible international players of super high quality choosing to come and play here, salary cap or no, because money isn't everything. And I think we just have to give that leniency when we think about our players leaving to other players coming. And I think that is something we hear Jessica Berman referring to. She kind of, addressed this situation this weekend. Jeff Kassouf reported Jessica Berman saying, "We are always analyzing the entire ecosystem, monitoring the inflows and outflows of players, assessing the quality of talent in the league. While I could understand the focus on the salary cap, the ways that players make decisions on where to play is a complex set of considerations, and we will always look at that, not in a myopic way, but holistically. We are quite confident that the value proposition that we offer to players is compelling and will continue to attract and retain the best players." I feel like we kind of just said that actually very similarly. I do think there is room to discuss the salary cap growing
100%.
quicker than is laid out in the CBA. I think a lot of people would agree with that. This is just like an ecosystem that's changing really, really quickly. I think it feels really scary to imagine Trinity leaving. And it is a good reminder that we have to keep having this conversation because we don't want to keep losing star players of any national team, of any nationality. We want everybody good to come play here because we want the NWSL to be the best league.
I agree. But I also do think that we also obviously have like such a tie to US players as well because we play in a US league and we want all the US players to be in that league. And then on top of that, Trin is like a global marketability person right now. So
you still said
I know, just ignore
marketability.
Trin is still this global icon right now. So so I think it feels like, especially with her, we're like, please don't go. We love you. Stay. You're a great player and you have all this like spunk and personality. But I do think if we like look at it holistically, the league is going to be fine. But we do want Trin to stay. So if somebody offer her something.
I've put so much thought into this. I think I do want the salary cap to be higher. I don't want to, again, we've talked about this a lot all year. We don't need to rehash the whole thing.
I want the salary cap to be higher, but I also want what's best for each player too. Like I understand the league has to look like at it in a league perspective, and fans who are fans of the league want their best players to stay. But on the other side, as being a player, I'm like, I want Trin to do what's best for her career and what's going to push her and be the best player.
Exactly. And I think that's where we always end up coming back to is like, especially the NWSL recently announced this like advisory board, and I feel really excited about that because I feel like these are the conversations that group should be having. Does parity matter? I don't know. Did it matter where members of the advisory board used to play or used to work or whatever? Like, how will the salary cap affect players? How will it affect competitive balance? Like, I think it seems to me like there should be minds focusing on those issues. I think where you and I will always end up is like, we want Trin to be happy. We want her to be the best player that she can be. If that means she goes away for a while, so be it. We also want the NWSL to be the best league in the world, and we want them to figure out a way to keep her here. So
we have no answer. We have no answer. And hopefully somebody offers her something good so she can stay so we can enjoy her talents. But if she doesn't, then I hope that she has a great time.
Wish her luck
wherever she lands.
Exactly. And you know what? I'm going to take a page out of Trinity Rodman's book and just say we have to focus on championship weekend right now. So we're going to deal with this one later. We do need to take a quick break right now. But when we get back, we're going to talk about the other semifinal between Gotham and Orlando. And then we're going to also preview the final. So don't go anywhere. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a look at the other semifinal, Gotham versus Orlando. I Felt like this game was overall pretty evenly matched, Lynn. I think Orlando seemed like they made a few more quality chances, especially in the first half. I remember thinking like halfway through the first half, like, oh, Orlando kind of has the edge. Jackie Ovalle had a few chances really close, like almost inside the 6. And I thought maybe she was going to tap one in. There were a couple close calls.
I know there was one where I think she just like got her feet mixed up and the ball just like skimmed off her left boot and went out. And I was like, I just felt for her in that moment because I've been there and I was like, oh, you want those ones back so bad. And I just feel for her.
Yeah, that one's going to hurt. I don't want to say this like as if like I am like the pinnacle of like all soccer knowledge. The second half I felt like was a little bit less exciting.
I don't want to seem like a hater, but I was like a little bored.
Our attention spans are going down the tubes, but like, yeah, I know what you mean.
I thought that like there wasn't much like flow.
It was kind of sloppy.
Yeah, or like the passes weren't connecting. I felt like both teams were just like kind of booting it long or like trying to solve it individually, and then somebody would lose the ball and then the other team would go down and do the same thing. And it just kind of felt like this back and forth of like not real chances created or that exciting. So it just felt strange.
I agree. There were not that many chances created. The XG, so that expected goal stat, again, for Orlando was 1.15 and Gotham's was 0.17. I'm pulling these numbers from FotMob, but I was like, was that a typo? Like 0.17 is not really any chances created or expected at all.
I did feel like Orlando had the better chances, like you said, especially in the first half. But overall, I felt like when the ball got into the final third, missed passes or missed runs, or somebody would just like kick it out of bounds, or it was like straight to the keeper.
I know. I think like obviously I was like kind of on the edge of my seat because the game had like big implications, but I just think that probably neither team was at their sharpest. I do think on the positive side, Marta stood out to me. She had a few incredible moments. There was this one moment where she just, I don't even know if it was on purpose, but I just like, I have to assume that it was because like, why would I ever doubt her? She just had this moment at the top of the box where she just kind of like dinked it around and like played it through. I think that was on one of Orlando's chances. And then I thought for Gotham that Jalen Howell was really solid again. It's been really great to see her performing so well. It was good to see Esther back on the field for Gotham. She had been injured the past couple of games, but like we said, I don't think Gotham's attack felt particularly dangerous. Is there anything else really that you noticed, Lynn?
Gotham did have to go into extra time of overtime last game. So I am curious if that was like weighing or like their legs were a bit heavy. I think this game, both teams, was like a big indication of how the seasons have gone. And like this playoff run of like, they show up to one game and then one game is like down. And then I'm excited to see what happens at the final because both teams are like, I don't know, because all season I'm like, I have no idea which version of each team is going to show up. And that's how I felt watching both lackluster versions of their teams showed up.
Yeah, I feel particularly with Gotham, the team that beat Kansas City. And look, no hate. Literally, I love Gotham.
No, I'm not.
It's just like the quality of play against Kansas City was so great. And we were like, here it is. Gotham could do it all. And then the quality of play against Orlando wasn't as high as it had been the week before. Maybe they were tired. You know, they had traveled to Kansas City and then they traveled to Orlando. It's like there's a lot going on. And I get it. And they pulled out the win, which we're about to get to. But it was a little bit of a different version of the team. And I think we're all hoping that the best versions of both Gotham and the Spirit show up on Saturday so that it's just a good game for everybody.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's hate at all. I think that Gotham, obviously we know they won. Gotham would say that about themselves as well,
Totally.
is that we didn't play our best game. I do think that we always say this, though. If you're not playing your best game and you figure out a way to win,
I know
that's always really exciting. And so look, Gotham in both games has waited to the very last minute, and it's very exciting. You're like on your edge of your seat, and it creates this amazing storyline for sports. But I would love the team that beat Kansas City to show up on the weekend. So it's a great game. So we can all say, ooh.
Exactly. Totally agree. So I love what you pointed out that like, yeah, Gotham didn't play the best that they've played all season in this game, but they still found a way to win, which is like so sick and almost in a way like more emblematic of like whatever is going on for them right now, that they have this belief that they can like do it at any time in any way. This game came all the way down to the 96th minute. Rose Lavelle earned a free kick. She got fouled just outside the box. Her and Jaden Shaw were standing over the ball. And then Jaden Shaw, with her right foot, bends in one of those balls where if it was just Jaden versus the goalkeeper, it would have just been easily scooped up. But because there was so much chaos, the goalkeeper can't make a play on it. All these players are crashing in on it. It's like this kind of low bouncing bent ball to the back post. Nobody touches it. It goes right in. And it reminded me, Lynn, of at the 2019 World Cup, Pino scored a free kick kind of similar, where it's just like, it's not like it's a bullet to the upper 90, but it's so chaotic in there that it goes in. And it was just so sick. And I'll just like never get out of my mind, like Rose and Jaden turning and looking at each other and screaming because it went in, because it's just like, that was it. That was the game. They scored on this pretty like brilliantly crafted free kick chaos situation after not really creating that many chances all game. And it was like just kind of incredible to watch.
This tells me a couple things. One, put your chances away, Orlando. Like this is what happens when you let a good team stick around for 90 something minutes. It was actually brilliant by Jaden to keep it on the ground and not go high, because I think that the keeper couldn't see it. So at the last minute, she saw the ball, but by that point it's too late. There's so much chaos. Somebody could have got a nick out. And I actually think that she thought Midge was going to touch it, and that froze her. In these moments, when you're taking a free kick, sure, you can like try to deliver this beautiful, perfect ball. But like you said, if nobody touches it, deliver it so that it will go into the goal, no matter what happens. So deliver back post. So I think anybody who's a free kick taker, curl that thing, aim for the back post, and it's everybody else's job to get on the end. And if they don't, you score. And that's what happened.
Yeah, you just close your eyes, cross your fingers. Sometimes it goes in. It's sick.
Actually, kick the ball with your eyes closed.
It was awesome. And like, I am actually, the more that I think about it, it's like we do all, I am the guiltiest, blast free kicks that just go over and have no chance of going in, when it's like, we could just do this more. Just cause chaos. You don't have to blast it at all. Just
I know.
Put it in the mix zone.
Yeah. I feel like, especially now when people are trying to get so creative with free kicks and stuff, it's like, hit it really far and then somebody will head it back across the goal. And I'm like, or just hit it at the goal.
I like those two.
Okay, well, when you're 20 feet tall and you can get your head on the end of them. But sometimes when nobody touches it, you're like,
who was that to?
Please tell me who that was to.
Yeah, you just got to get it in there, and it's chaos, and sometimes it works out. And it was really great. I was like pumped for Gotham. I was pumped for Jaden Shaw, who, again, we talked about this last week, but it's just like, think about that girl's journey over the past few months. Like, I am really happy for her. She's making a huge difference for Gotham in this postseason. So now back in the game, there's like, seconds left. Gotham are winning 1-0. Orlando gets their own free kick, and then it gets flicked on target. It's going in. It's going in, everybody. And Katrine Berger acrobatically saves it. It was a really great save, a really dangerous moment, one of the best chances of the whole game, and AKB just saves it. And I feel like that moment was like as game defining as Jaden scoring, because it just would have been tied, and Jaden's, you know what I mean? It would have meant so much less. And Katrine Berger is just like an absolute force.
I know. I was pretty impressed because she had to like shuffle back, set her feet, and then get up and make that save. And then not only make the save, but like push the ball into not back into the zone.
Into the mix zone. Don't put it back in there.
Don't put it in the mix zone. Me and Marley were watching, and my eyes were so wide, being like, oh my gosh, this ball's going to go in. And then I said, never mind, it's not going in.
It's the only thing that can keep you awake these days.
That and this podcast.
Well, good. I'm so glad that we're here.
Yeah, but I thought it was incredible. Keepers don't get enough credit, and she should get more credit for that.
It was incredible. So now, everybody, now it's the final. The District versus the Empire. Don't know who made that up, but it sounds like a Star Wars movie. I don't really know a lot about comic books and Marvel, so I wasn't really sure if this was like a real thing. Like, is the District versus the Empire like something that already exists, or does it just exist in like NWSL land?
I think it exists in NWSL land. In my brain, the Empire State Building, like an Empire State of Mind. And then the District is
The District of Columbia.
Yeah, I was going to say pretty self-explanatory. Also Katniss Everdeen. Like that's what goes on in my brain. I had something to say about Marta.
Go for it.
This is just a little tangent story when you were saying, I don't know if she meant to do this at the top of the box, but do you remember when we were playing Orlando? We were in North Carolina. Obviously, we have to go back to North Carolina.
Yeah, are you going to tell like the throw-in story?
No.
Like when it was out?
No.
Proceed.
Well, our coach screamed at Marta, handball, handball.
Yes,
and Marta
yes.
looks at him. She has two defenders on her, wags her little finger in his face and says no, and then megs one of our players and scurries away. And it was the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I said, and there she goes. Don't worry. We'll run back. I'll chase her. It was crazy. So I think she means to do everything she does.
Well, so do I. That's where it's just like, if it was anybody else, I would have kind of been like, she didn't mean to do that. But because it was Marta, I was just like, that was sick.
That was sick. You're sick.
She knew. And you know what? Before we move on and talk entirely about the final, we should shout out Orlando.
Yes.
I think that they'll be disappointed, really disappointed to not be in the final, because I think there was this feeling coming out of their team, like we're the defending champions and nobody thinks we're going to win. They did have a pretty like tough spell after the summer break where they like were winless for something like 9 games. And I think that that's where a lot of that kind of like doubt came from. But again, to make it all the way to the semifinal shows a lot of consistency, an ability to get yourself in there. And for much of the semifinal, they were able to create more chances and they looked better. So respect to Orlando, respect to Marta.
Yeah, I will also just add, like when your top player, Barbara, goes down, they did have to adapt. And
totally.
And I'm not going to say that they didn't adapt, because I actually do think that they created more chances. It was just a matter of the soccer gods not on their side this day, and they didn't put away their chances. So they should be proud of themselves, and they have a lot to build on for next year as well.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Okay, back to the District versus the Empire. I will say, like we mentioned before, we saw both Esther for Gotham and Trinity Rodman for the Spirit back from injuries. Both of those kind of like personalities and attacking threats those are people you want on the field for your team in a final. Like I think, Esther scored a lot of goals this season. Trinity is just like an energy bringer. Gotham, though, they don't want to be known as underdogs. Meanwhile, I still want to be known as an underdog because I just feel like it's like the best way to be. I think it's like such a compliment. But I do think, unfortunately, even though they don't want to be attached to the storyline, they did come in 8th. They did beat the number 1 team. They did have some inconsistent moments this season. And so making it to the final, maybe they weren't at first on everybody's list to be here. And that kind of does make them an underdog. Meanwhile, the Spirit were in the final last year. They lost. I feel like they were kind of branded this year as like, it's going to be their revenge year. They came back and they won the Challenge Cup. Obviously, they're not an underdog. They have one of the most committed owners in Michelle King. They feel like a team that's been building to have another shot at a championship all season long. So I feel like we're looking at these two teams. In some ways, it's a surprising matchup, and in some ways, it's not at all. Mm-hmm. Both star-studded teams, both champions in the past, recently, actually, 2021 and 2023. So when you look at these two teams, when you look at this matchup coming up on Saturday, their journeys even during playoffs, who do you think has more, like, momentum coming in?
I think it's hard to say. Like, I think this...
Because it's like a feeling.
Yeah. Yes, correct. I think that you would assume Washington, but then again, Gotham is such a wild card and they are riding this underdog, not underdog wave right now. And it seems like they just know how to stick in a game for a really long time. So
yeah.
And sometimes you need that.
I know.
So that was a non-committal answer.
Well, very non-committal from both of us. And unfortunately, it's time for us to get committal and do our Lollipop gut check of the week.
I don't have one because I rushed home.
It's okay. I have my cream soda. It's looking gorge.
I'm actually really jealous. Do you think that if you put that in a root beer float, but like a cream soda float, that would be delicious?
I do.
I need that.
I love these ones. I've actually been pouring them over ice, but I'm not doing that today for the branding. And they're just so good. Did you know that cream soda, like the flavor of it is vanilla?
Yes. And I love that.
I feel like they should just call it
vanilla soda.
Nah, I don't like that anymore.
No.
Okay, we do need to do our thing. So our Olipop gut check of the week is who is going to win the NWSL championship? Be as committal as possible.
I think it is Washington's to lose, but I also think that with Gotham's roster, anything is possible.
You answered that perfectly. I've been having anxiety about doing this all day. This is what I've been talking about recently. Remember when we said that we didn't think the Courage were going to make playoffs?
Yes.
And then I watched the Courage play and I was like, oh my God, but I want them to so bad. So I feel like I betrayed myself by saying that.
Yes. And your friends.
I feel that way for Gotham. I feel like I want to be on Gotham's. I want to be part of their underdog story, even though they don't want to be underdogs and they don't want me in their story. If Gotham win, I want to have been like, y'all are my ride or dies. I've been here since day one. I always knew you could do it. And I do believe that if the Gotham that we saw beat Kansas City, the Gotham that we know is capable of showing up, shows up, I think they could win.
100%.
And I will cheer for my friends. And I love them. And I love Gotham. And I would even consider wearing a Gotham jersey.
Huh.
I think the Spirit are in really great form. I think they have really great players. And I think the way you worded it, as if it is theirs to lose, was an interesting way of wording it.
Interesting in a good way or a bad way?
A really perfect way of wording it.
Thank you. And
so you know what? Because this is an Olipop gut check, I'm going to say it with my chest. I'm rooting for Gotham. It is hard to make these decisions, but I've learned my lesson this year, and I'll see if it comes back to bite me. I don't know, Lynn.
Well, you can't say I'm going to say it with my chest and then say I don't know.
I can do whatever I want.
This is my podcast. Yeah.
I won't ask you to be any more committal than that. You're a current player in the league, and it's not your job.
No, I am excited for the final, though. I think it's going to be two great teams, and I hope that both teams show up and perform at their best so we can get like a good show. But I do think both of them are riding a momentum wave, and I think they both have great rosters. So who knows? Washington has been more consistent all year, but it's playoffs. And Gotham has an incredible roster. So
I know. I'll just go on one more little tangent. I do feel Washington, in a way, have an edge because they lost in the championship last year. I think that gives you an edge, a mental edge. Gotham, on the other hand, had a little bit of magic. They have a little bit of something where it's just like, oh, something's on your side right now. The winds are at your back. You know what I mean?
Yes. And even though they don't want us to call them underdogs, they have the mentality of like, you guys keep doubting us, which I would say is a little bit underdog. So,
all right, we need to wrap up the Olipop gut check of the week because Lynn and I are both sweating from our armpits a lot. But I did want to just remind you, Lynn, do you remember that meme of Richard Sherman and the reporter? And he's like flipping out because apparently somebody was talking about him. And she goes, who was talking about you? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh my God. I think about that meme all the time.
No, but I need to look it up.
Oh my God, you need to look it up. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to everybody. That was a stressful gut check. I'm glad it's over. And now I can drink my cream soda in peace. The NWSL Championship game is coming up this Saturday. We do need to take one more quick break, but we will be back with more non-committal answers in just a minute. Welcome back, everybody. All right. We have some big stories and some big games going on around the world. So first up, here in the NWSL, Atlanta was announced as the next expansion team and will be joining the league in 2028 for a new record expansion fee of $165 million. I've been listening to a lot of reactions about this, Lynn, and I think overall it sounds like a really positive ownership group, a really great market for the NWSL to be in. And I think my only initial concern, and I don't know if this is outdated or not, was that we're expanding really fast. There's 2 teams coming in next year, Boston and Denver. Atlanta will be the 17th team. And I wanted to know maybe from your perspective of how do the players feel expansion is going? Do the players have any sense of we don't want this to happen too fast, or is it not an issue right now?
Well, I haven't talked to the fellow players, but as the player representative.
So you can't speak for everybody.
No, I can't speak for anybody besides myself. On one hand, think that this is really cool. And like you said, I think Atlanta's a great spot. I think this is bound to happen. But on the other hand, it does feel really fast. I feel like there's a lot of moving parts happening. We have Denver coming in, we have Boston coming in, we have Atlanta coming in, and it feels like each year there's like a new something, and it's like how are you
There's like a new project.
Yeah. And to me that feels fast. Like how are you supposed to feel settled or grounded? It's a lot of newness. There's always a new team that's like trying to catch up. Like obviously there's like a whole process, right, of like how they get these teams to come in that I'm not privy to. In the past, it feels like teams have come in promising a stadium or a training facility, and then they're
not ready yet.
And then they're not ready yet. And then they're like, okay, well, we're gonna build one. And it's like, okay, when are you gonna build that? And then they're like, in 2 years, but then permits get pushed back.
Why are you in the league now if you're 2 years away from being
exactly
ready?
And so my concern for teams coming in is like, do you like, sure, be able to come in 2 years when you have everything ready? Are they ready right now? I'm not sure. But I feel like in the past we've had that issue.
Yeah, I think those are fair questions. Atlanta's stadium is ready. I don't know anything about a training facility, but I think those are fair questions. I think there are concerns about expanding too fast in general. Like, I think one of the ones I used to hear about was like talent dilution, but then I say that and I'm like, but then I look at like the rookies this season and they were so good that I'm like, maybe talent won't get diluted. Like maybe like the growth of the game in the world overall means that there are so many great players like able to play at this level. To me, I'm like wondering if that's like an outdated concern.
I am, as somebody who's played in the league this year, I don't think that there's a lack of talent. Like I think on our team, all of our rookies are amazing. I think I look at Portland, I look at LA, I look everywhere and I'm like, you guys have so much talent. But with the talent, I think you need a little bit of guidance as well. So we don't have these teams that are great one week and something's happening the next week, and then great another week, and then like an ebb and flow. You want to see like a upward trajectory. But I think that also comes with a coach. Like what types of coaches are we getting? Are we able to really foster a development program for a lot of younger players that are coming in as well? Like, I think that those are the questions I ask as we start to expand.
Well, I think my other question, and this was just meant to be a quick one, so we'll have to spend more time on this on another episode, Lynn, but I think my other question is like, are there struggling markets
yes,
that we could optimize before we continue to expand? I think Atlanta, and again, this is, I have listened to like other shows and read articles about this, and it's like, it sounds like Atlanta is going to be a big market and that they're not going to have a lot of trouble getting fans, and that it's a sports city, and that it's, you know, there's a lot of people that live there. I think that there are some teams and markets that feel like they're struggling a little bit more attendance wise and like success wise. And I don't know if we're still in the business of like, should those markets move? Should they sell? Like, I don't know the answer to that, but I do worry that like we're going to leave behind the markets that are already struggling. And I like don't want that for them.
No, I don't want that for them either. I think that at some point though, we have to ask ourselves, like, how long are we going to allow a team to like not be up to the standard of where the league is going?
Yeah.
I think it's both. Like, are we expanding too fast because teams aren't ready? And at the same time, how are we pushing
the bottom
up?
Bring the bottom up with.
Yeah. And at the same time, how do you fill it with enough talent, but also enough coaching staff to deal with like the development of players, and not, no offense to the league, but like have this like just recyclement of coaches that you're like, well, they went from that team to that team to that team. Like, we need qualified people in those jobs. And that means like GM, owners, sporting directors down.
Yeah, there's a lot of staff. Look, I think this is like a really humongous ecosystem, and we're going to need some help with this one in terms of like understanding the big picture. I think overall my reaction is I'm really happy for Atlanta. It sounds like it's going to be a great market. I do think that like, let's keep talking about expansion, the rate of expansion, the pros and cons of it, because I want to learn more.
Yeah. But I think too, where are we putting the teams when we at the moment don't have conferences? So,
like geographical clusters.
Yes. Like we don't have conferences. I like that. Geographical clusters. We don't have conferences. We don't do charters. The country's huge.
Well, yeah, and Atlanta is freaking far away from Seattle.
There's
another one for you. You've got a lot of cross-country flights on your plate.
Let's move on. I can't think about it right now. It's going to stress me out.
Let's move on to something happy. Here in the U.S., Mal Swanson had her baby, Josie James, which is just literally the cutest name ever.
So cute.
So huge congratulations to Mal and Dansby.
I know. I'm so happy for them. Babies, all the babies.
Oh my gosh, babies. Okay, overseas, everybody. Champions League is continuing this week after some important results last week. The top 3 teams after 3 games are Barcelona, OL, and Manchester United. They're all 3-0 so far. Go off Manchester United. This is their first year in Champions League and they're 3-0 so far. Like, okay. Chelsea and Real Madrid also remain unbeaten. Surprisingly, though, Lynn, defending Champions League winners Arsenal are all the way down in 11th place. They have 2 losses, 1 win. And they have a difficult game against the undefeated Real Madrid coming up on Wednesday. So I'm like a little bit worried about them. Plus, Chelsea, Barcelona are playing Thursday. So that's a big game. I definitely have that one circled, even though we have a live show on Thursday. So I'm going to have to think about that. I do feel a little bit like trepidatious on Chelsea's behalf as well. Is trepidatious a good word?
Yeah, I did see that you put that in. And I was like, go on, girl. Go on, English major.
Yeah, vocab.
Vocab and math. Girl's good at everything.
What was your vocab word today? Marketabilitable?
Marketabilitable. So close.
Sorry, this is so mean of me. I feel a little trepidatious on Chelsea's behalf because in league play, they tied last place Liverpool this past weekend 1-1. Alyssa Thompson did score a really beautiful goal. It was the type of goal, Lynn, that I think in like 10 years, everybody will be like, that was an Alyssa Thompson goal. Like she cut inside and bent it far post with her right foot. It was like beautiful.
I think people are going to say that now, like not even in 10 years.
Yeah, true. It was like a very Alyssa Thompson goal, but it was like overall a lackluster performance from Chelsea, who I just feel have been off a degree. And now they're going in to play Barcelona. And so I'm a little bit like, all right, you know?
Yeah. Not to bring this back to the NWSL, but Chelsea feels like Gotham to me, where it's like you guys are stacked. Like, stop being off. Just get it together.
Yeah. I love that. I love that you brought that back to the NWSL because we're about to bring it all the way back to the NWSL. We're going to head over to our Discord instead of our inbox this week. Last week, Lynn and I shared our NWSL Best 11s of the season. Lynn, ours were obviously very similar.
Because we have one brain cell.
We have one brain cell and both have very great taste. But I wanted to shout out a few of you on our Discord channel who shared yours with us. Jaime said Lorena, Avery Patterson, Jordan Bug, Tara McKeown, Izzy Rodriguez, Claire Hutton, Manaka, Lacey Santos, Bia, Temwa, Riley Tiernan up top.
That's very different than ours.
Pretty different, but very respectable.
Yeah, I think that's a great team as well.
I like having Riley Tiernan in there. I'm such a Riley Tiernan fan. Okay, Dawn in Memphis. Shout out to Dawn. Dawn said Anne-Catherine Berger, Patterson, Sonnet, Sams, Mace, Manaka, Lavelle, Hutton, Temwa, Ludmilla, Sears. Love the Ludmilla shout out.
Same. I also like the Haley Mace shout out as well. I think she's a great outside back.
I do too. Well, Haley Mace did announce that she's leaving the Current. I wonder where she's going.
No clue.
No clue.
But I do think that's a miss on the Current. I think she's a great outside back. We're getting off topic here, but
We're getting off topic. Dawn in Memphis, shout out, good one. And then last one we've got Joe, who wrote Claudia, and yes, they did spell it Claudia. Patterson, Sharples, McCown, Huerta, even though she was only here for half the year. So shout out to Sofia Huerta. Coffee, Hutton, Manaka, Cascarino, Chewinga, Esther. So a lot of repeat names. I'm feeling like a bum loser that I didn't put Claire Hutton in mine. She was on my bench, though.
I actually think I would really like to see a midfield of Sam Coffey, Claire Hutton, and Manaka. I'd like to see that.
That would be really good. But don't you feel like Sam and Claire are both like sixes at their core?
Yeah, but I think Sam could like sit more, and then Claire could be the 8 up and down a bit more. You think the other way?
I don't know. I'm gonna stay non-committal on this one. I'm just gonna see what happens.
I'm just gonna call this episode non-committal.
Non-committal. That way it's a win-win. So these best 11s were pulled from our Discord channel. If you don't know what Discord is, it's totally fine because I didn't know either. I just learned recently, but now I'm all in there. Men in Blazers has a Discord channel. The women's game has a bunch of pages in there. So definitely come and check it out. It's super easy. It's really fun. It's kind of like a community. It's very cool. And I'm actually doing an AMA, which stands for Ask Me Anything. You learn something new every day, Lynn, on Discord this Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to talk all about the NWSL Championship game. So if you haven't joined us on Discord yet, check it out. Be a part of that AMA later this week. Lynn, we're wrapping up here, which means, do you have a sick and tired?
It's not necessarily a sick and tired, but it's a piggyback off my last sick and tired. I did get an email today that says that YouTube and Disney have come to an agreement, and now my ESPN ABC is back on my YouTube, and that's a little bit frustrating considering that I just canceled my HBO Max to get the ESPN and ABC. So now I need to
You're saying so many letters.
Well, keep up. So now I need to go cancel my ESPN package because now it's back on my YouTube TV. So Jeepers. Good job for you guys coming to an agreement, but like do it a week earlier.
Jeepers.
Creepers.
My gosh. I'm sick and tired of my eye twitching. I've looked it up. I'm not happy about it. I was having like severe anxiety about it this morning, and I'm going to try to cut back on caffeine even more, I guess.
What about stress? Are you stressed? Of course I'm stressed. Are you sleeping enough?
Yes.
Are you doing eye massages?
No, because that's not a thing.
It might become a thing.
All right. I guess we have to do our good vibe because it is the namesake of the show, and we're just so grateful to have each other. So, Lynn,
do yours first.
Okay. I do want to just, recap that. I said it in a begrundled. What word am I looking for? I said it in a begrudged way, but I mean it in a really grateful way. I love this show. I love doing Good Vibes every week. And Lynn, we only have one more episode of Good Vibes coming out next week after the final, and then we have to take a minute away.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I realized.
Yeah, I know. So our second to last Good Vibes of 2025.
Okay, well, go.
Oh my God, I'll go. My friend Brandon, my best friend from home, came up to visit me and Pat this weekend and we had the best time. We walked around. We went out to dinner. We went to the state park and went for a walk. And it was just so fun to see him. We made cookies.
What kind?
Chocolate chip.
Obviously. I don't know why I asked.
And it was just so fun. I love him so much. And it was really fun to have him up here in Vermont. And so that's my good vibe. It was just really great.
Friendship. Okay, my good vibe is going to be the room that I do this podcast in is pretty much Manly's, what the heck? Marley's man cave. This is where he does all of his editing, all of his streaming. And we just mounted a TV in here and both of our backs have been a little bit broken. And so we've been sleeping on this pull-out bed thing because it's hard as a rock and it's straining on our backs, and it's just been we've been having a fun
sleepover party on the hard futon pullout.
Yeah, and watching TV
in the man cave.
Yeah, the other day I couldn't sleep at 5 a.m. and we were just up from 3:30 to 5 just talking. Got a whole snack plate. It was so fun. I had
you
the
guys
best
are
time.
So cute.
Thanks. I had so much fun.
I feel like I've said this about you guys before, probably on here, maybe right before your wedding, but I just feel like you guys are you guys just really like hanging out with each other.
Yeah, we do. He's my best friend.
You guys are just best friends, but you're just funny and just friends who are in love. And I just love that.
Thank you. We are best friends. I feel like it is a little bit lame when I say he's my best friend, but he was my best friend before we started dating, and then we started dating.
Well, I know. I feel like everybody says that, but it's not true of everybody, but it's true of you guys.
Yeah, so that's my good vibe. My good vibe was just it was a different, obviously we have a sleepover every night. We live together, but it was different and we were watching
We're
TV.
Married.
We're married. But it just felt like a little kid fun sleepover
That's so
time.
Cute. I love that.
Thank you. You guys should do that. Just sleep in a different room. Sleep in the office.
There's too many machines in here.
I know. I feel like we have so many machines in here too. I'm am I getting radiation?
Yeah, literally. I'm there's way too many wires in here.
All right, maybe don't do that.
I know it's time to wrap up, but now I'm not ready anymore. So I just wanted to keep maybe talking.
Okay, just call me maybe.
Okay, I'll call you. Okay, everybody. So we here at the women's game, we're headed to San Jose for the NWSL Championship this weekend. First up, the women's game is hosting TWG Live, Night of 1,000 Stars on Thursday night at the Glass House in San Jose. Lynn, You're going to be there. You're our guest of honor.
I'll be there.
She's going to be on stage with me and Raj.
I'll be talking to my girls.
What do you want to do? Do you want to play a game? Do you want to do trivia?
Sure. I'll do anything. Just sit there and stare at each other.
I'll call you and we'll talk all about it.
Great.
Okay. We also have some other incredible guests, everybody. We're so excited. We're getting some guests from each team that will be in the championship game. It's going to be so much fun. So I can't wait to see all of you there. Then on Friday, I'm actually heading over to the NWSL Skills Challenge presented by CarMax to be a team captain. And I'm actually really excited for this. I was part of the Skills Challenge last year and it was so goofy and so fun. So I'm really looking forward to that on Friday. And then finally, TWG will be at FanFest in the game on Saturday to watch it all go down. So I'm going to get to see my friends and I'm going to get to see some of you out there, listeners.
I'm going to be at all those things too, so I'll see you there.
Okay, everybody, that's it for this week's episode of Good Vibes. Make sure you check out Friendlies with Corey Bethune coming out on Thursday. Plus, Becky Sauerbrunn dropped an episode of Teaming Up on Monday with Laura Harvey. And that's all we have for you, everybody.
Oh, second to last goodbye. But we'll see you guys at the championship weekend.
We'll see you on Thursday.
All right.
Peace and love.
Love long time.